I'm up by 250% or $3,000 on a single stock and I'm not planning to sell. In fact, I think this stock could still multiply by more than 16 times and at one point even pay out dividends. The stock I'm talking about is ASTS, and if you followed my channel you'd know that I've been buying this stock for a long time, for about a year and a half, and at least by looking at the chart you can see that I didn't have a great time until now. Before we go into when I bought more of this stock, let's just quickly cover what the company wants to do and how they plan on making money. The company is basically trying to bring internet and mobile coverage to the whole world, kind of like Starlink but directly to phones. They have one satellite in orbit with which they have successfully completed 5G tests, a phone call and a video phone call. Their satellites work a bit differently than Starlink's. Instead of having a lot of smaller satellites, they'll have a few bigger ones which will work as repeaters. They will bounce and amplify the signal from normal cell phone towers directly to phones. This will allow mobile network providers to reach every valley and ocean in the world. So how do they plan on making money? Well, they have agreements with more than 45 mobile network operators globally, who collectively serve over 2.8 billion existing subscribers, making the path to profitability pretty straightforward. Once they build and launch satellites, their only cost is to maintain them. Meanwhile, mobile network operators will take care of customer acquisition by offering the ASTS plan to their existing customers and splitting the profits 50-50, allowing ASTS to hit insanely high profit margins. To do that, they'll need approximately 168 satellites, and they plan to launch the first 5 this year, with their first target covering 100% of the continental United States. And then they'll launch the following satellites in the coming years to cover the rest of the planet. Now, I won't go through the whole story of me buying this stock, but let's just say that I've seen some green and I've seen a lot of red. In the last episode, we left off at the end of January after the stock just completely crashed to below $3, only for it to then jump back to about $3.40. At the time, ASTS had planned to launch the first 5 satellites in Q2 of 2024, and I had just bought 115 shares at about $3. I thought, okay, this is it, we are finally going back up. Oh boy, I was wrong. The stock just continued slowly falling for the next 2 months, only for it to then crash down to just $2 a share because they had once again delayed the launch of the 5 satellites. But now we finally got a more concrete timeline. The satellites are expected to be transported to the launch site between July and August. Despite the public obviously taking another delay as a bad sign, I thought this was absolutely amazing, so I waited until just the right moment and bought 105 shares at just $2.03, timing the bottom almost perfectly. After that, the stock started to slowly recover until the company announced a definitive commercial agreement with AT&T and said that they won't do another dilution this year, which was the main driver behind those huge sell-offs in the past. These two news combined made the stock jump up from about $2.40 to more than $5. A week later, they announced a plan with Verizon to target 100% coverage of the continental United States from space. But most importantly, they got a $100 million commitment from Verizon and secured a cellular spectrum. That news catapulted the stock to $9, and since then it has been just steadily rising. Now I am happy with my 410 shares at an average buying price of just $3.16, but in the grand scheme of things, current share price doesn't even matter, because everything can change after the launch of the first 5 satellites. If they don't work, the stock goes straight down, and if they are successful, well, the moon is the next destination. I'll take that bet, and I don't plan on selling anytime soon because of a couple of reasons. Firstly, if they succeed, become profitable and have a high profit margin, I think the stock can easily get to a market cap of about $50 billion, if not a lot more. And with the stock currently having a market cap around $3 billion, that's a 16x increase, potentially turning my position from a measly 4,000 euros to 64,000 euros. And this goes into the second reason. I'm young, so even if I lose the whole 1,200 euros I invested in this position, it won't hurt me in the long run, while 64k could go a long way. And finally, I genuinely want to see them succeed and bring mobile coverage to the whole world. Another stock I've been buying a lot lately is Canadian Solar, which has been consistently falling for the past year. I've made a whole video about this stock, but to put it shortly, I think it's immensely undervalued compared to other solar stocks, and I think they have a great plan. So it's definitely a long-term play, which is why I've been consistently buying the stock as it drops down, getting my position to about 21 shares, and I plan on buying it a lot more in the coming months. There is another stock I think is, or at least was, a great play, SMR or NuScale Power. I'm still making a video about the company and its technology, but in short, they want to make small modular nuclear reactors, which will be a lot cheaper to make than conventional nuclear power plants. Why am I saying it was a great play? Well, because I bought a couple of shares on February 21st when it was trading at just $2.65, only to then sell it at $3.14 to buy Canadian Solar. Since my sale, the stock just continued going straight up to more than $11 a share. Meanwhile, Canadian Solar has just been going to the ground. But at least I didn't sell it for a loss. And lastly, another small stock that I want to throw out there so I can just say I told you so in the future if it goes up, or completely ignore if it goes down like most YouTubers. Intuitive Machines, with a stock ticker LUNR. In the recent past, they landed an American spacecraft on the moon for the first time in 50 years. Since then, the stock has been steadily falling, but they do have a couple more contracts with NASA for more moon landings, which could act as catalysts. Currently, that's the extent of my research, which is why I opened a small position of about 28 shares. However, I plan on doing a lot more research and making a separate video about it. Having that said, if I think it's a good buy, I'll slowly add to the position. I do have a Patreon, so if you want to know when exactly I am buying or selling stocks, or if you just want to support my channel, I'll leave the link to it in the description. A couple more stocks I might buy more of are quantum computing stocks like Rigetti Computing, Quantum Computing, IonQ, and D-Wave Quantum, and the 3D printing stock Markforged. All the stocks in this video have a market cap below $10 billion and are quite risky. So before you do anything, do your own due diligence. If you want to know why I'm investing in Canadian Solar or in quantum computing stocks, click on one of the videos that just popped up. If you like my content, subscribe, and thanks for watching.